We talked about the COVID situation, and in this context, the U.S. has been extremely generous and has just very recently, last week, provided again vaccines to Nigeria, Pfizer and other vaccines, over 3.5 million that were delivered. And I pointed out on behalf of the government of Nigeria how grateful we are to the U.S. government for this generosity. We discussed issues of democracy in Nigeria, and the importance of the U.S. and Nigeria as big democracies to safeguard and democracy and fight for democracy. I gave him an overview of the democratic process and election process here in Nigeria. President Biden of the U.S. will be convening a summit on democracy in December, and hopefully Nigeria Mr. President will be invited and will engage fully with that. We talked about good governance and corruption. We talked about the suspension of Twitter in Nigeria and the progress, how that is progressing. We were briefed on a U.S. initiative on specific projects in different countries around the world, and infrastructure in particular, and how they're ready to engage and support various countries around the world on that. But we'll get more information going forward. We talked again, of course, as you know, Mr. President will be going to the COP26 in Glasgow on the climate change very soon. And so we talked about the various commitments that our two countries are making in the context of climate change. We talked about the G20 and maybe expansion of the G20, and with Nigerian direct involvement. We talked, of course, about the security situation in the country, banditry, the Boko Haram, the secessionist movements, and other acts and challenges to insecurity, including the Gulf of Guinea, and how we can cooperate with the United States in addressing some of those issues, in fact, all of those issues, and but while acknowledging the tremendous support and cooperation that we have received from the U.S. In the area of security, recent delivery of the Super Tucanos, the A-29 fighters, and support in other areas. And we assessed the situation in the Sahel, beyond Nigeria, right up to Libya, and how we can work closely together to address the terrorist challenges, but also the internal security situation in Nigeria. We talked about trade and the importance of facilitating market access in Nigeria, especially in the agricultural sector, and how to increase trade between Nigeria and the U.S. Of course, the U.S. Has the African Growth and Opportunities Act, which facilitates and encourages market access for African countries to the U.S. So we also looked at how this can be further strengthened and improved. And we also talked about consular matters and visas for Nigeria, and the challenges that are being faced by a lot of Nigerians in terms of obtaining U.S. visas. So,
Minister, Nigeria is not just a partner of the United States, but also a friend, and it is much appreciated the time that we spent and the conversation that we had, which I found very constructive, and the partnership overall. We obviously, you heard the minister's briefing. I won't repeat it all, but it does speak to the enormous agenda that our two countries share. You heard that we spoke about the pandemic and the delivery of vaccines, and now turning to the next phase of this, which is actually making sure those vaccines are administered and get into people's arms, which is something we very much want to support, as we do the climate agenda in the run-up to Glasgow, and we have welcomed Nigeria's commitment to increase its ambition when it comes to emissions and climate change, and urge that to continue going forward. The security issues obviously are paramount, whether it's terrorism or piracy or anything else related to the security situation in this country that the United States can support. You mentioned democracy. The president is very much looking forward to convening the Summit for Democracy in December. A big pillar of this is going to be obviously issues related to elections, related to corruption, and we discussed that agenda here as well. And I heard the minister's proposal around the G20, and we obviously have a G20 meeting coming up in a few weeks in Italy. We also covered a whole range of economic and energy issues, including renewables, which I know is a particular area of focus for your government. What it really underscores is that there are no significant issues on our mutual agenda that can be addressed without working together, and so we are committed to continuing to do that. So thank you again for the time and the partnership.